Ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike, welcome to this week's episode of Critically Casual. I'm your host, Srekcuf5, and joining me, as always, is the magnificent DorkyDev. Say hi, Dev.
Hello. I moved my camera somehow.
It's okay, I do that all the time. And I don't know how or why, seeing as I'm never where my camera is.
Yeah, right? Mine's behind the desk against the wall. How do I move that often?
Same.
Hey, it shouldn't happen that way.
But it does somehow, magically. Either way, how are you doing? Oh, I already asked how you're doing. Either way. Yes. No.
Hey, didn't you said my lovely guest, or my lovely co-host.
Fine, how are you doing today,
My
Dev?
fantastical co-host. I'm doing good.
That's
Not
good.
really, because this week sucked.
This
For movie. Like, week-wise, outside of movies, not bad. I enjoyed myself. And then you made me watch this miserable goddamn film.
The miserable film. Huh. I bet it was Sweeney Todd. Alright, let's get into talking about what's going on this week. Starts off this week. I've called this week on Broadway, because I'm not clever. I'm not original in any way.
Was Sweeney Todd ever on Broadway?
We are now. It is now.
I'd like to get a fact check in here.
Sure. But, yeah. We're starting with our viewer's choice movie of Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of
Fleet Street.
Fleet Street, thank you. It's really small on my screen. And then we're moving in the cats. And then we're going to wrap everything up with some news and wrap up and fun stuff there.
Yay.
Yay! So, anything else special you want to talk about before we hop into talking about Sweeney Todd?
Let's go into this film, because I can talk about this film.
Okay. Alright. Since you asked so nicely. It's Sweeney Todd time. So, what'd you think of Sweeney Todd?
It's not bad, genuinely. It's not a bad film. Like, I enjoyed it. I think it's got a little bit of a pacing issue. I feel like it's a little, weirdly enough, I feel it's too short, and it kind of has to rush through the end a little bit.
Okay.
But everything else it does a really good job with.
Mm-hmm. I can appreciate that. You like... Does it... Let's see. I just saw a follow on here from a few days ago.
Oh yeah, that's DMP.
Okay. I'll say it out loud anyways, because why not? I'm just kidding. I won't do that to you.
No, you won't, because we don't need that brought over here. Not yet.
Not yet. Not unless someone else from our lovely chat brings it up.
Yeah, leave it alone. It's unreal.
But, yeah. I enjoy Sweeney Todd. This is the second time I've watched this movie. Well, I think it's the third or fourth time I watched this movie. I can't honestly remember. But I do remember using These Are My Friends, that song, as my audition piece into the advanced choir. And I made it.
Congrats.
Why, thank you. But, no, I really enjoy this song. Or this movie. It's just it has some near and dear moments to my heart. And it's also genuinely kind of creepy at times, which I enjoy. Because we have some creepy people doing some kind of nasty things, and, it's pretty gruesome at moments.
That's a fair point. It is kind of gruesome. At a lot of moments.
Yeah. Like, I was sitting there, and I was at the beginning of this, and I was like, is this really rated R? Why is this movie rated R? And then I kept watching, and I was like, yep, I understand why it's rated R. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's rated R for red.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But, with that being said, it's just, things I like about this movie is I just love Johnny Depp. He is always one of my favorites. Helena Bonham Carter, is that how you pronounce her name? Man who can't pronounce names.
Helen. Yeah, sure. Go with that. That sounded right
Helena
to me.
Bonham Carter. Okay. Sure. I should pull that
Helena.
up. Helena. Helena
Helena.
Bonham Carter. Let me pull up my IMDb now. She was cool.
Wow, there you go, idea.
Mm-hmm.
Alan Rickman, the late great Alan Rickman, who should have been in more scenes. Honestly, because it's Alan Rickman, and he's always great. I don't know. There's some things that I have issue with this movie, and it's honestly just the way it wraps up.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it, I hadn't really thought about it, but you mentioned it, and it's like, it does feel like the ending happens in just 10 minutes.
There's a big twist that, you have to really be, you have to notice it's the same person, is how I'll put it without spoiling it.
Mm-hmm.
Which, the makeup job is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
That it's tough in some ways to notice it. At least to me at first, I didn't notice it. Because we also don't hear the character talk in the first scenes they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't.
We didn't
have
the voice.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have a way to. We don't have a reference for them. So that also helps keep them hidden. And because of that, when the twist happens, it feels kind of rushed. Mm-hmm. That feels like something that should have built up a little bit more through the film. And then also, just everything kind of happens at the end. It just within 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm. To me, it kind of makes sense because it's really musically, and it feels really established off of a pretty popular play, in my opinion. I don't want to say which play because it seems a little too spoiler-y if I do.
Does it have an R in its title?
Yes, at the very beginning.
Okay.
Just like the movie. It's rated. So yeah, I like that it's kind of like a little twist on one of those common movies, like theater plays. But at the same time, I do kind of agree with you where it's just really quick and sudden ending, which also feels kind of like a movie-esque or like a theater-esque thing to me. So
that's fair. I can accept that decision. Mm-hmm. I don't have to like it, but I can accept that it's there. It just, again, for me, from just a movie standpoint, it just feels like it's just kind of done. Mm-hmm. Which isn't the most satisfying. It reminds me a lot of, funny enough, we were talking about movies over the year before this. Reminds me a little bit of Crawl's ending.
God, I hated Crawl's ending.
But it's better than Crawl's ending still. Because there's at least resolution for some things. Mm-hmm. So, there's that. But yeah. That's kind of the only other thing that I feel about it. It is what it is. I'm not going to drag the movie for it, because the rest of it I actually genuinely enjoyed. So, mm-hmm. That is part of it. So, I have to accept the movie's downfalls to enjoy the ups, mm-hmm. personally.
And what were some of your favorite things? So, what are some of the ups of this movie for you?
Music was actually good. Mm-hmm. I genuinely enjoyed the music, which was nice upon reflection. I was like, oh wow, the music in this film's this is enjoyable. I can enjoy this. Mm-hmm. Especially given I watched it after something else. So, mm-hmm. I genuinely enjoyed the music in this film. So, yeah.
When I think of this movie music, one of the things I enjoy too is how when there are duets in the songs, they're not really traditional duets in a way.
There are two songs.
Yeah, but they overlap with each other.
Yes.
And I like that a lot. And it's kind of like a unique way of telling a story in this movie and in musicals as a whole.
and tells their perspective too on their world, like, which, you know what, I can get behind. So, you know what, no, like the music is a definite strong suit of this film. So, points there. So,
I'm trying to think of something that like I personally really don't like.
dude, this is your film. Let's be real.
Yeah, I don't like. There's not really something I don't
There's
like.
music. There's horror. It's gory. There's it's almost nothing but black and white.
It's pretty nice. I enjoy this movie. I mean, it's not perfect.
If
by
there was
any
a
means.
film that I would describe you as, and there's cooking. You enjoy cooking.
That's true. I do like pies.
There's a little bit of everything for you in this film. This is.
I've been
you know what?
focusing on my shaves a lot lately. You know.
Sponsored by Dollar Shave. Not really. Don't.
Maybe one of these days.
I'd rather be sponsored by Manscaper.
Man,
Lawnmower 2.0. Someday.
But no, but still, even so, like this movie, I even though I like a lot of this movie, I'm not gonna give this like a high rating, like a 9 or a 10 or anything like that, because
Oh no, it's definitely not like that.
yeah, it's
No.
definitely it's pretty melodramatic at times. Not a lot of exciting things happen, and when they do, it's very suddenly at the end. So, like, there, especially with moments with our main character Sweeney Todd, like at the very end when he comes to realize what's going on, like it's my favorite moments. Like how his emotions churn and like his faces and how the shadows play and like it's fun.
No, it's a good job. Like, it's all at the end.
Yeah.
While the rest of the movie, it's kind of one note for each of the characters, but those one notes are pretty good. So holding those out makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's like is it too much of a good thing in some cases? Like they had something and they're like, we're just gonna hold on to this longer than we probably should.
Maybe a little bit, because there are some moments when it's like it's the one problem that most musicals have is the pacing, where like where somebody can explain one thing like, hey, I want to do this in 1 second. It takes about 3 to 5 minutes depending on the musical, on what's going on.
True.
Yeah. So I could see that like parts of the movie are like, yeah, this is here, this is here, this is here, this is here, and then now we have to rapidly put in between parts in there somewhere, and like I kind of lost track of where I was going with that. Just like musicals.
So You explained it with that.
Yeah.
Like for me, it still felt like not necessarily rushed, but like just kind of. Well, no, a little bit rushed at the end. It just like I've experienced enough musicals to know that like the end is supposed to be a little bit more drawn out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's just kind of a very quick succession of events, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's different, and I don't know if I like the different. I appreciate the different, but I don't like the different.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not really unpredictable or unseen either. Like
No.
it's because this man is volatile at every moment that we see him, so and openly admits that he like wants to do the things he does for specific reasons. So yeah, I don't know. Like this is a fine movie, and it definitely entertains me quite a bit. But, you know.
Oh, that's fair.
Is there
I can agree with that.
Is there anything else you want to talk about in this movie?
How do you like the camera work, mister?
I
Since
thought
that's where your skills are.
I honestly thought it was okay. Like nothing was super amazing to me. Maybe at the most, I liked how the sets were set up so the cameras can transition from inside to outside with really no problem, and I liked how there was movement through a lot of the movie, which was pretty entertaining. which it just showed the flow of the people going in and out. That being said, like when the camera work got kind of exciting, it was very obviously CGI, and that was kind of like, kind of.
That's fair.
Yeah, it was a dual-edged sword, where it's like, man, this is really interesting, but it's kind of obvious that it's fake right now.
Yeah,
I had to think about that with the opening credits, because I was like, wow, this is pretty crappy looking. But
that blood at the beginning is just like, that did not age well.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there thinking, do I hold that against the movie? And no, I'm not going to be that dick. I'm not CinemaSins.
But also at the same time, it could be like, it's a stylistic choice. It's supposed to be like hyperalized.
Which, that's what a lot of this movie is. It's pretty hyper
yes.
realistic.
No. It could almost work in its favor nowadays.
Yeah. So, anything else?
Nope, that's just my normal question I ask you.
No worries, I appreciate it. So, Dev, I'm gonna give you 10 popcorn kernels. How many?
I'm gonna give you back 7.5.
Alright, so a good 7.5 for this movie?
Yeah, it's a good 7.5. I enjoy it. Like, it's a good romp.
Mm-hmm. It's a little, not quite a rom-com, but it's a
good romp. A romp. It's a romp through the city. Romp through the city. Oops.
London. Are you trying to snip on me?
No, I didn't mean to do that. I just had my hand near it, and I accidentally apparently recorded it. Mm-hmm. Romp through the city. Romp through the city. Romp through the city.
Sure. Sure. All right.
Wasn't my intention.
You just wanted to get me saying romp out of context. I get it.
No, that's not what I'm doing. Trust me.
I would give this movie a 7. Like, good. Like, it's a fine movie. Absolutely fine. I feel like that's my new norm. Is like, if there's not really something I can complain about or boast about, it's just gonna get a 7. Honestly.
That's fair. It's a fair score.
It's
yeah, I'd give a 7.5 for those films. Like,
okay, I can appreciate that.
So, just a little above average, quote unquote. So, okay. We both have a different. We're pretty much kind of rating it the same.
Essentially, it's just an okay movie. Just how about that?
It's a fun film, worth a watch.
Okay.
Especially since it's free on Amazon Prime.
Unlike this next
Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm. Free on
Amazon Prime. You can use you can partner with your Twitch and get Twitch Prime and get a free sub once a month. Pretty cool.
Right? And you can use it on your favorite channels. And I hear people like to support small channels. So
that was a plug.
Yeah, let me go get my controller, or not my controller. Let me go grab my phone charger to plug into it. Alright, so, next movie. Let's talk about whatever the fuck Cats was.
I couldn't hear that. What'd you say?
I wanted to talk about Cats and yeah.
What? What are we talking about? I don't wanna. No. Dude, I think my brain literally repressed so much of this film.
Okay.
I don't remember anything musically except for Rumple Teaser and Mongo Jerry. That's the only song that's stuck in my brain from that film. I have managed to block everything else out.
Okay.
How?
Yeah, I mean, because there's nothing really super memorable except for...
But they're all stupidly catchy. I remember being like, they're going to be stuck in my brain forever. And somehow my brain was like, no, this isn't happening. We are living this nightmare. Because this film is a nightmare. It really is.
I'm very conflicted on this one myself. I'm not going to call it necessarily a nightmare, depending on which part of the movie that you're on.
Dude, okay. For someone, I harp on VFX is where I tend to be the critic, right? That's usually my department. When things are VFX bad, I point it out.
Which this movie is all bad VFX.
Oh my god, dude, they skate! Did you pay attention to their feet?
Yes.
Especially background cats? My god, they're just hovering. They're just hovering. Like, there's no, like, I don't know what it's called, but there's no pressure between, like, there's no gravity.
There's no friction.
To them. There's no friction. There's no gravity to their feet. Like, someone didn't shadow their feet properly, because it just looks like they're just, like, this off the ground. Like, they just have no clip on, and they just kind of skate across the ground.
Like,
which doesn't work.
Yeah, for me, I was watching a lot of the background cats because I was just confused on if they were supposed to be wearing shoes or not. Like, there were just so many different times when it was like, wait, does this cat have shoes? Wait, does this cat not have shoes?
You want to know which feet did not look the worst? Were the two Chuck pairing cats.
The ones that showed up twice on screen?
Yeah, because their feet were on the fucking ground. I need to fix my hair. I'm already starting to fucking lose it. My hair's like... I'm starting to run my hands
1.21 gigawatts!
Shut up. I was starting to do the go straight up, like, manic, like, craziness that I tend to do when a film does this. And it bothers the shit out of me. Like, even Bleach. We watched Bleach, which did not have good CGI. It was consistent, but at least the things felt like they were on the ground. Like,
yeah,
it wasn't.
So, like, with me in this movie, it's weird because there's only weird moments when I can, like, disassociate that we're watching this anthropomorphized monstrosity on screen. Because, like, I could, after just a short little while of, like, just turning my brain off, I could just see the faces. I could ignore the cat ears and the whiskers. I don't know. I did it. But I was proud of myself. But then once they brought up the human hands against the...
Oh my god, that was so weird!
And some of them had claws, but some of them didn't. And some of them just had nails. Some of them had regular rings.
Okay, and you wanna know which one, like I my brain went, what is happening? Was Idris Elba.
Especially when he takes off his coat.
Yeah, dude, it just... Okay, like, all the other cats, this is gonna sound really weird, all the other cats, like, their skin tone, like, the actresses and actors' skin tone and face tone is a little bit different from the fur, so you can distinct it from the fur. So it doesn't look like skin. And then Idris Elba's character takes off his coat, and it's just one single color across all of him. And your brain is trying to process whether or not all of him, including his face, is fur,
or none
all
of him is
like... And it's really, really bizarre. It was that moment that I'm like,
I mean, this whole movie is just a bunch of because, like, nothing really even happens either. Like, I didn't really remember that in the original play, but when it came to this, it was really obvious how much it's just introduction of characters, end of movie.
Yeah, but at least with the stage play, it leaves things to the imagination.
No, even better than that. Like, at least when it comes to the stage play, because this movie is lost in translation. That's all this is, honestly. Because, like, when it comes to the stage play, like, even the opening song, where some of the lyrics are like, we swing, we dance, or acrobats, we walk on tightropes, we do all this normal crap. And it's like, when you see that on stage and you see these actual people doing those things where they're being very agile and dexterous, that one?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm not good at English, so why am I saying sure?
Right? But, yeah, like, you get to see all this human amazing things happening. It's kind of astonishing, but then you see it on film where most of what's going on is CG, and it just doesn't quite translate the same.
And the other problem too is it's not necessarily CG either, because the CG. So I'm going to explain what they decided to do for this film. Everyone knows what motion capture is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and normally it would not look like this if it was mocap. You want to know why? In normal mocap, they use suits that have tracking balls on them, because that's how you line up the model that you're putting onto the mocap, and it captures it and moves with it. And there would be a good chance most of these actors and actresses would have a face harness to mocap their face.
Mm-hmm. With dots all over their faces and the camera literally right here. Like,
yes. And you know what? Probably would have looked a lot better. You want to know how they did it in this film?
how's that, Dev?
None of it. The actors and actresses had just regular clothes and stuff like on normally while doing this film. And then they put the things over them.
It was hand painted.
Sort of. Which, one, is a VFX nightmare. Like, I do not envy the VFX artists on this film. This is not their fault. They did what they could with what some creative asshole was like, you know what would be really cool? What if we did mocap without the mocap?
Because
that would
technology.
be revolutionary.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, it would be in about 5 to 10 years. No, not now. No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God, because that's what bothers me. Because, like, I really wish that I got to see the old version of this, by the way, because I got to see the updated version.
Yeah.
I asked when I got my ticket, because I think it was the manager who was selling the ticket at the time. Because he was in a nice shirt,
Mm-hmm.
he had the glasses on. He looked like the manager, He was stereotypical. He was you, except, like, 20 years older.
All right.
And a little less hair on his head. Like, shortcut on his head.
Poor guy.
Like, no, it wasn't like balding. He just cuts it short,
Yeah, I get that.
Like that's how I would describe him. And lighter colored hair, like brown, more brownish than because yours is darker.
Yeah.
Asked him, so is it the updated version or the original version? And he's like, it's the updated version. I'm like, damn, I was kind of hoping to see the mess that it was before. And he's like, oh, it's still a mess. I was like, damn it, even the manager knows how bad this is for me. like
I would love to get to know my managers at the store, the one theater that I go to all the time. Just to be like, hey, how's it going, man? Oh, good. How's this movie? A train wreck?
I'm in there so much.
Yeah. I sent a tweet to one of my friends, or not one. Oh, I sent something. Snapchat, tweet, message, one of those things of communication that we use nowadays. Where I was like, I wish my loyalty program that they offered was better.
That was me.
Okay, yeah. I honestly wish they had a better loyalty program. We spend so much time at these movies. It's been 2 years now almost that we've been running the show. And the first time ever, I get a free movie with a free popcorn and a free drink last week after watching Rise of Skywalker twice in a week. I want better benefits. Damn it. But yeah, when it came to this movie, it's just I wouldn't. It's just it just doesn't translate because
It doesn't.
Because the performances are fine in most cases.
They're as fine as hypersexual cats could be. Because by the way, my God,
I didn't. At times I got that. At times I didn't.
it's early in the film. It's like the first half, and then I will say, after Idris Elba's character does the thing, that's when the horny cats go away, and it's more of the not necessarily scaredy cats, but more like how I remembered the the stage version of it being.
Mm-hmm.
Because the amount of times the amount of cats that are just rubbing up against each other, and I know I know that's what cats do.
I mean, that's also what happens in the stage play, but it's usually...
But it's different.
It's because in the stage play, the cats rub against the people in the aisles.
Well, it's not just that. I'll say this. With the stage play, I think it's a little bit different because of the way... One, they're not halfway through an Animorph. Like, their costume design works for that, right? Because it's real enough. You know what I mean? It's not this uncanny valley terrifying creature that suddenly is trying to, like, I don't know, hit on the other terrifying monsters there. And it's just... It's really bizarre.
Yeah, like I said, I managed to turn off what was going on until, like, one of the hands. Another one was when they rubbed their faces up against each other. That's when
It's so weird.
Yeah, that was another moment when I was like, that's a little off-putting. Who was it? Ian McKellen?
Yeah.
Yeah. His drinking was off-putting. Like...
Oh, poor Sir Ian McKellen.
Like, it's the weird thing about this, too, is, like, there's a lot of great actors in this movie.
It's got Judi fucking Dench in it.
And, like, there's great vocals, there's a lot of fantastic performance, but it just doesn't translate to a movie. It really doesn't. It's quite off-putting what happened here. And, like, the biggest FU of it all is the ending, honestly. Like,
oh god, I cannot wait to talk about that in spoilers, because that was fucking weird.
Yeah. So, like, and if we go through it and we really think about it, think about this question that I'm going to ask you really hard, Dev. Who's the main character? That's a good answer. Like...
Oh, I know where that question... Like, as soon as you started to ask who is, I'm like, no one. Fucking no one.
Like...
You could maybe say who is the villain, but even the villain could be the main character at this point, because he shares as much screen time as anyone else except, like, the character of Victoria, who is supposed to be our main character, but she doesn't do anything. She's more a passenger.
Yeah, Victoria is our vehicle for us to watch this movie.
Which doesn't work for movies.
No. Like, that was one thing I was really conflicted on. Like, my favorite moments in the movie was honestly her song. Not her memory song, but like, kind of a little bit, but like her reminiscing of what she wanted in her life kind of thing. That was one of my favorite moments of this movie. But at the same time, like, her as a person and a character in this movie is not, like, she's not needed. Like, I would have felt better if they just put one camera angle on this movie and had everybody just staring at us like it was a stage play. But because of they made...
It would have been better.
It would have been better, yes. But no, they gave us this weirdly thrown together movie. Like, I don't hate it. By no means do I hate it, because, like, there's great vocal performance.
I hate it.
Like, I don't. Like, there's great vocal performance. There is pretty good dancing if you ignore the floating. And...
I can't, though. That's the problem, bro. There's too much of it. There's, like, that entire scene of Jason Derulo. His entire song.
Which is really weird. Who's Jason Derulo in their world? Because he says that name in his song.
Does he actually say it?
Yeah.
I blacked out, I think. It's like...
He says it, I don't remember when, but I think it's somewhere around the halfway mark. He says Jason Derulo. And it's like... Okay.
But it's just, like, that entire song is just about them getting milk from Rum Tum Tucker.
Mm-hmm. Rum
Or Tugger. Sorry. Like that is the film. That is that part of the film, and it's just like it's oh my god.
I hated like the big thing I hate about this movie is that there really isn't a story. Like I said, there's introductions and then there is an ending, and that's really all this is. It's just introductions
Which
and endings.
weirdly worked on Broadway.
Mm-hmm. Because
like
the physical performance is what you're seeing. That's kind of what you're there for, and that's not what you're there for in movies nowadays.
I mean, we would be there for a physical performance. This isn't a physical performance. This is weird, out of body. Like, there's a scene where they transition to being on the train tracks, and my brain broke. Because, like, they had sets that were built to be, like, extra, like, forced perspective stuff.
Yeah.
And then that entire thing seemed to be on a green screen.
Probably,
that entire part of the song until they get back to where they were. I was like, they're skating on this, but they're not skating on it. Like, I guess part of the problem too is, like, before this, they were skating across the ground, and then they start doing that, and they aren't, like, sliding across the ground anymore. It looks realistic until they get back to, like, this stagecoach room, and it just starts breaking. This movie just starts breaking at points, and the fact that their fur always looks like it's moving. Like, it's always adjusting. If you pay attention to it long enough, you see this, like, weird, like, kind of like if my jacket was constantly doing this, like this kind of thing.
Well, I mean, they're also always just kind of doing something.
For the VFX is a nightmare. Which is why it should have just been regular fucking mocap. Like, fuck your creative genius. This doesn't work. Like, someone in that VFX department should have been like, hey, we're going to spend too much money on this. Can we put them in mocaps? It'll be cheaper. I swear. No. You do the Instagram filters.
And it's just the worst, like, just the weird scaling, too. How the scaling's off in the movie. How some things are like, this seems appropriate, that could work, and that's a toothpick, not a pencil. Like, there's weird moments.
Okay, I actually have this, it's not a spoiler. What do you think of the trombone and the way the music played with it? How it was a fucking trumpet in the music.
Oh, that was fun.
It pissed me off. I was immediately like, that's not the horn that should be making.
Yeah, that's not right. The movements. I like how it wasn't even constructed right either.
No, it wasn't constructed right. It wasn't playing. It was the music being played was through a trumpet. Obviously, to anyone who's played a brass fucking instrument, here's a high pitched horn, and you're like, trumpet, not trombone. Because also there was no gliss. There was nothing. It was just sharp notes being hit. Which, if you were using a trombone, you would make sure people know you're playing a trombone a little bit, which is why you add a little bit of a gliss to the trombone if they have a key part in a song, because you make sure that they knows it. So it was obviously a fucking little fucking trumpet, and it just, why? Why have the trombone? Just throw a trumpet on the ground then. It would have sized to the cats better too, because it would have been like, if you just made it the same size that you made that trombone, it would have been like, oh, that's a realistic size trumpet instead of a super small fucking trombone. It was, why? Why such a small trombone? And why was it making trumpet noises? Dude, this movie pisses me off on a scale.
There's one thing I wish they did. I wish they fully committed to that they didn't, was a dog.
Oh no!
Like, we got to see that we got to see a variety of animals. So I'll explain it a little more in spoilers, but okay. Yeah. Okay. Other thing. I think my biggest disappointment, honestly, is the music itself and the way it's used as a story device, because it is used as a story device in some way, but it's all super simple. Like,
it's all just introductions and repeating the same lines
like,
over and over and over and over.
I hate to say it. Like, who is it? I'm trying to think of the name. Rum Tum Tugger. Like his song, isn't it? Rum Tug Tugger is a curious cat.
Yeah, Jason Derulo's fucking song. My God, I don't want to go back. I'm going back.
Yeah, like his whole thing is he's just a curious cat. Yeah, and like that's just
Tucker is a curious cat. No, it's coming back to me. No.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, so yeah, like that music very simple. Other songs in there very simple as well. It's the words used are odd.
Mr. Mistopheles.
Yeah. Mr. Mistopheles.
Na 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 na.
And they do it 5 times. God, all
They
right.
do it more than 5 times.
All right, we gotta. Is there anything else before we might need to switch to the spoilers here?
Cinematography, fucker.
So
You don't escape without doing your one thing you have a degree for.
Listen here.
So cinematography.
This is named critically casual for a reason. You don't get to escape your part.
I got that, you piece of shit. Sit down.
So this movie, cinematography was kind of bad. Like it honestly felt like they did the choreography and they planned everything out on a set. But then after they made their set and planned the choreography, then they threw in the camera and they kind of just did it half-assed and last minute. The only moment when I was interested was when the cats were getting all aggressive for some reason, and it was like I think they were singing about multiple names, and
at the beginning, like, what's your name, your first name, your second name, your third
and
name.
like they start like getting really tied up shots and angles of these dancers doing these things, and it cuts really fast in between moments. And that was honestly the only time in the movie where I was like, "Ooh, this seems kind of interesting." But basically, at every other point, it just felt kind of lazy, and they like a lot of movements on cameras or lots of far away shots. Like it just wasn't very interesting to me, I guess. Like once again, it was a failed translation. Like this would have just worked better if it stayed as a theater play. On
You know what
Broadway.
I do appreciate, though? I gotta say, I do appreciate the fact that, at least, like, from one camera to another, where people were was relatively consistent.
Oh, that reminded me. I wanted to bring that up. Sweeney Todd had a bunch of continuity errors in the dancing.
Which I'm fine with,
Mm-hmm.
because the rest of the film is entertaining.
Yes.
In this, the fact that my point of good is, hey, you had consistency on where people are when you change cameras. The rest of the film pisses me off, Steven. The rest of the film pisses me off.
To me, just the worst part was the ending. Just especially
What's
what's her name song. Like whole 5 minutes of lovely old Judi Dench singing at us.
And she's amazing.
I would say
Her voice is so good. But damn it.
God, yeah, no.
This
Her
film.
like that movie and like that song felt so out of place, especially for what just happened in the movie. It's like what the heck? What? And so it's just all of this. It just feels all out of place. The effects are out
Especially
of
given
place.
that we're still like, hey, some of our friends, there's stuff going on with them. Let's just have this really somber moment and also celebratory moment. Weirdly enough, it's
and still like
and then the end.
yeah, and in the end, to me, like the one thing that kind of bugs me out the most is still just the shoes. Like who is the cat? Who's the railway cat? Scrimble Shakes.
Yeah.
He was one of my favorites because I was like, man, they're really lacking on good tap dancing moments. Because I would think cats have claws, so I would think that these claws could make awesome tap dancing sounds. But then they just bring out this normal old cat who wears tap shoes anyways. And they're normal sized tap shoes for him, not human sized tap shoes, which we know would be a lot bigger than him. So
Yeah, they're tap shoes that were obviously created for a cat, which just adds so many stupid fucking questions.
and plus there's old Deuteronomy's hand which has little tiny rings on her fingers, on her cat fingers.
Oh yeah, there's that.
So let's move on, please.
Popcorn.
I give this movie, because it's just not a good movie, 3.
Steven, this is potentially, for me, a rival.
Really?
A rival to it. the film.
Not It the movie, but we have to clarify that because we've seen 3 different It movies, Deb.
It's potentially a rival for Death Note. For me.
It's not that
And
bad.
just
I get
and
that.
just
Yeah, go ahead.
and just the way it bothers me, okay? Because like Death Note bothers me in a different way.
Mhm.
Entirely. Like it's a bad movie. This bothers me in another way because it's a bad musical movie
Mm-hmm.
with awful VFX. Not from lack of trying, just from ignorant, creative motherfuckers like you or I, who for some reason was given way more power than we should have had.
I
Was
can
like,
see
you know
that.
what? We don't need to use mocap suits. And this shit is bonkers. Like some of the pre-fixed stuff I've seen. There's a scene of when Rebel Wilson's on the arm of Mun Script Trap, whatever the hell his name is. And you could see, dude, it was perplexing how it used to be because you could see her sleeve right here.
Through the fur.
Through the fur, under like she has her arm under him like this, and and her paw is kind of leaning on the bottom of his arm, and you can see her wrist,
Mm-hmm.
like the piece there, her sleeve, and the entire time, Munscrub Trap, whatever the fuck his name is, his whole body is just shifting. He's standing still, and his face goes up, down. It's moving, and he's not moving, and it's wrong.
Yeah, this movie's pretty bad.
Plus, there was apparently a guy in the background that you could see in his hoodie.
Oh, I was about to say, I thought I saw him too, actually. Like,
You might have seen the old version then.
okay. I don't
might have
remember.
had the old-
I don't remember seeing shifting faces or sleeves, but I thought I saw a guy with the hoodie.
You might have been, honestly, it might have been one of those moments where you've blacked out everything else somehow because you had that ability. Somehow.
Maybe.
That you might have just missed it because you're so fixated on. Well, maybe you were just looking at Rebel Wilson's face because her face during that scene doesn't move. It's just Monster Crap who's just like. I wish I had bookmarked the clip because it is
Wait,
weird
okay.
as fuck.
There's actually one more question I wanted to ask you before we go into spoilers.
Oh boy.
Performance-wise, I thought it was kind of obvious that there were 2 different kind of performers on screen. There were the movie performers, like Rebel Wilson, and what's his name? Fat Cat. Buster
James?
Jones from James Corden.
Yes.
Yes. Like, it was pretty, and maybe a little bit of Idris Elba too. Like, it was kind of obvious to me that they were like movie actors, while a lot of the other actors could kind of blend in as theater actors at times. Like Ian McKellen, maybe a little bit more movie actor.
I would honestly say there was 3 types of actors.
Oh.
There was movie, theater, and music artist.
Okay. You got me there.
Because my God, Jason Derulo and Taylor Swift.
Jason Derulo, I actually kind of like this song, so I won't. I didn't hate it. I didn't like it. It's somewhere in the middle.
How did you put up with the just and the meowing? The meowing. Why make the meow?
The meowing was off-putting. Like when.
Oh my god, that was terrifying.
Yeah, when they can talk normally, suddenly we hear meow, meow, meow. It's like, oh fuck you.
Oh my god, dude, that was fucking. That song just dropped for me. That's when I fell into the insanity. I'm like, no.
Sensual
anyways,
meow.
my rating. I'm giving it a 1.5.
Okay.
Based off of 1 where you rated it. So it's not getting higher than a 2.5.
No, I can appreciate that.
I want to give it a 1. Probably dead even with where I put Death Note.
Death Note was
I gave
a 0.
Death Note a 1.
You gave Death Note a 0.
No, I didn't.
I remember
I gave
giving
it a
Death
point.
Note a 1.
I gave it a 1 because there were people who tried. I said that. There was still people who tried on this film. That is my rule. I will not give a film a 0 unless it really, really earns it. But I'm not going to give it a 1 because I can't hurt the VFX artists that much because it's not their fault, man. Because they tried. It's obvious that they tried to work with what they were given. They weren't given something that they could work with. Like, you would need VFX gods to do that. Like, I'm not even kidding.
Those are pretty bad.
There's no way to, like, I can't excuse that. I can't excuse, like, I get trying to push boundaries in technology, and I get trying to be, like, take a creative spin on something. But at the same time, you do have to accept that certain things do have limitations to how they're gonna work. And CGI things being pasted over real things and trying to map to those things isn't gonna work if it doesn't have points to latch onto. We don't have that yet.
It would probably work better if it wasn't dancing.
Especially that, yeah. This film would work way better if this film was not a musical. Because you could maybe take more time to attach it to certain points. But the problem with that, too, is, like, it still, I don't think would work because, like, again, there is no, like, the capture points are really important with mocap. Like, that's how, when you move your arm, the model knows to move its arm. Because you have a ball here, here, and here on at least 3 points on your arm, just for moving up and down.
Mm-hmm. There'll probably be more than that, but yeah, I get you.
At least, minimum, for like a simple thing like that, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not mapping hand movement and stuff like that. You're just mapping, up. Maybe a fourth one, like a smaller one on your like where your hand is, so you can use wrist as well. But like so it knows where your points are. Right? So when you move, it knows what parts of you are moving. Same with your face. That's why there's so many mocap dots on people who do the like.
Well, it's because faces have a lot of muscles.
They have so much movement. And just trying to just be like, app over. Me or Steven doesn't work very well. It looks like a fucking Snapchat or Instagram filter. That's what you end up with. Because that's the kind of technology those things use. Mm-hmm. They use basic mapping things without using like actual technology that we have the advantage to use.
I think we've ranted on that long enough at this point, Dev.
I'm sorry. 1.5.
Yeah. Sorry. This is a terrible, terrible movie.
So it comes to what, a 2.5 overall?
1.5 and a 3 would average out to a 1. I don't really care. I'm going to say a 1.5. Why not? It's just a bad movie.
You're changing?
No, I mean, but that's what it seems like to me. A 1.5 and a 3 For the two, oh, maybe a 2.5, I guess.
Because we round up when we don't do point
Yeah.
twos.
So-
Like we don't do
So
point
I
two
guess
fives or
technically it'd be a
2.7.
2.5. Yeah.
But I'm not gonna give it like a solid 2.5. It's a very rocky 2.5. Like the only reason why it's there is because we're lazy and don't do like smaller numbers,
2.25.
and we round
popcorn
up
kernels.
instead of down.
Let's get ready to spoiler!
So, we've already kind of spoiled this movie quite a bit. In some
Without
ways.
spoiling it, we haven't talked anything about like actual spoilers.
No, but if you like, it literally, it's just movie. Nothing happens. There's just introduction to character, introduction to character, introduction to character, and it's all done through the two characters, Victoria and what's his name? Is it Munklestrap?
Yeah, it's Munklestrap.
Munklestrap. The other way, yeah, where the two like Munklestrap is kind of like our all-wise narrator who knows everything about everything. Victoria is our unwise passenger who takes us along for the ride, and then we
And
just
literally nothing else.
yeah, and then that's kind of it. We have we get to meet Mr. Mistopheles, we get to meet McCavity, we get to meet Jenny Anydots and Buster Fair, and then we get to learn about all these fun little things like what a jellicle cat is and what they do.
What is it? No, we don't. We don't learn anything about jellicle cats.
I think
What is a jellicle? No, I don't want to talk about jellicle cats. I had forgotten the word. I literally had blocked out the word. Like I had even watched Screen Rant.
the
And
jellicle
they
cats
said-
with the jellicle moon, the
Yeah,
jellicle
I watched that, and
The
even
jellicle
after
prom.
that, as soon as it ended, my brain went and gone.
Don't
To
you
the word.
dare
I just knew
remember.
I knew that they said the word that I have forgotten over and over, and I'm like, oh, that's funny because I hate that word. I don't remember the word, but
jellicle.
it's gone. Now it's there. Jellicle cats.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be something like cats misunderstanding people, of dear little jellicle. Like dear little cats, jellicle cats. I think is what it was explained as in the song, but I'm not 100% sure. Or it could be because the ending of the movie is cats are just literally fucking dying, and it comes out of nowhere.
Judy Dench breaks the fourth wall.
Dude, her breaking the fourth wall was the worst part, especially because her song. I think her song was called "Add Dressing," cat dressing or add something, cats, and it was her staring at us with three other cats staring at her and reacting what she's singing.
It was so weird.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with what was going on in the movie.
It was genuinely uneasy. Like that shit will give you nightmares.
But hey,
It's not even the weirdest looking thing in the film. It's just uneasy because one of the things is finally addressing you. It's looking at you. And it's talking to you.
and it
While
tells
the
you
rest
this
of
is
the
how
thing-
all cats think and act and react.
But the part is, no one else is acknowledging you. It's just this one character. It's like if Deadpool was in Cats. But it's not Deadpool. It's Judi Dench suddenly just out of the blue. It's at the end of the film. It's the only time the film decides to break the fourth wall, and then it's there and it's happening. Like fourth wall breaking is something you need to establish early in a film to make the film to make it feel natural and not scare the shit out of people.
It was very disorienting to have happen.
My God.
I'm trying to think now. Is there any other like fourth wall breaks in any movies, like with useless characters? Like, I know Deadpool, but he has superpowers.
There's one movie that has a fourth wall break at the end, but it's heartwarming and it's actually kind of good. Is Scrooged with
one of the ghosts or something.
no, it's Bill Murray breaks the fourth wall, and he's going off on a rant about treating each other better and stuff like that.
Okay.
I
was.
He also really hated filming during that film, so like it's even more heartfelt that he decided to just riff off on this. I think it's completely improv, and he's just talking to the camera at the end. I don't know if it's supposed to be like the camera is us, or if it's him addressing, because he is technically on a news network where they're doing the Christmas Carol on it. I don't remember exactly how that worked because I haven't seen Scrooge in a little bit. But yeah, that's the only other one that I can think of where the fourth wall breaks happen at the end. The rest of them happen throughout a film.
Like, I was just trying to think of characters that would be fun to see go against Deuteronomy in a death battle.
Bueller,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Ferris Bueller would probably be the next best one.
Malcolm, or not Malcolm. What's his name? Home Alone. Kevin McAllister.
Oh, yeah.
He breaks the fourth wall throughout the film.
Yeah.
Because it's established in the film he can break the fucking fourth wall.
Calm down, Jeff.
No, you can't just do that. That is such a narrative jump for people to get it.
But hey, it's the end of the movie, right? It's the
That's the worst part to do it at.
It's the last 10 minutes of the movie that she sings at you for.
That's the worst moment to do it.
And now you know what cats are like, Tev.
I don't care. You don't. You don't break the fourth wall within unless you establish that early on. Unless it's a character who gets introduced partway through the film who happens to have that as his characteristic trait. Hey, this is a new character. Don't introduce him past the second act. I would say halfway through the second act. Don't introduce something fourth wall breaking.
But other than that, all the other things too are just late. It just all feels like kind of lazy stuff that happens. Especially the most off-putting thing to me was the mice children.
Oh God, I knew you were going to bring it up, and I don't want to talk about it.
I'm sorry, you don't have to. I'm just going to talk about it for our audience.
But you're going to talk about
it. Yes, I am.
But you don't have to talk about it.
But yeah, so we get to meet Jenny Anydots, who happens to be really good at commanding things that are lesser than her, as in mice with children faces, but they are just awful. Literally,
it's nightmare fuel.
Literally the worst thing I've ever seen. I was like, I thought the cats were bad, but the mice are worse.
They were scary.
Mm-hmm. And then they have roaches, which every single one of the roaches has people faces too. But then
they're all hot women though.
Yeah, I was confused. I was like, are they supposed to be like Las Vegas girls?
They're supposed to be the
yeah, the can ladies. Yeah, it's like they felt like Vegas showgirls, but they still had people. They were insecty and they weren't all at the same time.
It was so wrong. And they were being eaten.
Yes, and then they were being eaten, which was really weird. That put me off. I was like, I think I audibly went, ugh, in the theater. And then it keeps going. Because
it was so fucking wrong.
Mm-hmm. But then we have other dumb, stupid things too. We have McCavity, who's a magic cat, but he's evil, and we don't know why, but he's evil.
And the fucking catnip.
Oh yeah, the catnip with Taylor Swift and what was her name? Ballerina.
Okay, I don't want to talk about it, but I'm gonna have to talk about it. The jiggle physics were fucking weird with her.
Just in general, all the jiggle physics were weird.
But with her, it was really weird.
I didn't really notice. I just kind of locked on the faces.
It's the scene when she does the...
Does she shimmy? She does
the shimmy, and then the skin, fur thing moves with them, and I'm like...
There's cats' boobs don't move this way.
Cats don't have boobs like that. They don't. This is not right. Oh, when fucking Rebel Wilson tears off her skin to have clothes underneath, it's so weird.
And she does it twice. It's like, what the hell?
Weird. No.
Or we didn't even talk about Grisabella eating her own snot.
Oh, I get it's supposed to be emotional, but like, dude.
No, like teary emotional is fine, but mucusy emotional gets weird. Like, like I didn't notice it at first, but then I looked real closely, and it was just like all over her face. And then at one point, she like just starts singing again. Yeah, and I'm like, oh.
Well, the fact, dude, weird VFX thing I noticed is when the tear thing was like glistening across her furry part on her face, and water doesn't glisten across fur like that.
Just, I get that. I understand that there's bad CG, Dev.
They were close up to it, man. It was just like it was right here, and it was just there, and it just no.
The camera doesn't look good with close-ups in you. I'm sorry.
Not when I'm like this.
Now when I'm frustrated.
Dude, I'm like, dude, I'm. People have coined it as me jokering occasionally.
No, you're lemongrass, man. This is
What?
lemongrass from Adventure Time. Lemon grab?
This is unacceptable.
Yes, that is you.
But also the fact that like I go into laughing fits when I get like this, and this film does that to me.
But yeah, I instantly understood afterwards when you're like when you're like credits rolled and I instantly double face palmed and I was like I could see that.
I literally like it went up and my body just went, and I just. And I realized what happened. I'm like, I'm like, I instinctively double face palmed. Not for comedic value, because I'm the only person I know in the theater. Not for anyone else's value. Not because I thought it was going to be funny to talk about later. It just happened. And I went, oh, God. I double face palmed. What happened?
Yeah, it was just something different.
Mr. Mistopheles.
That was the worst part too. Like the CG magic, I could get away with it being lazy and pretty bad, but like they only did it twice really, and it wasn't even for Mr. Mistopheles, who had the triumphant dramatic moment of bringing back old Deuteronomy. Like, he doesn't get cool visual magic. Only the evil Cat McCavity does. But why does he get cool magic? Why the hell does he want to come back for another life if he already has awesome magic powers?
Don't ask questions, Steven. This film isn't about asking questions. It's about just accepting that this is where the cats are.
Do you have a favorite cat?
No, I do not have a favorite cat.
Mine is
none of them.
Skittleshanks. Like Tap Dancing Railroad Cat. His song was very off-putting because, one, I was like, it's not a song about yourself if you're not singing, dude. You're just tap dancing. Two, the fact that it teleported us to like 4 or 5 different locations.
Can we talk about that
Sure.
for a moment? That threw me the fuck off because we went from what was a real set with CGI things skating across it to the railway bridge, which I think was all CG.
Mm-hmm.
And them going across that, and all of a sudden they're on the ground and they're not skating anymore. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh,
and then they're in the train car, and
then all of a sudden sometimes they're not. And there's another one of those stupid mouse children there. And it's just they do like they're in there and then they're in the beds, and then like that one cat gets really close to Victoria, like is like, hey. Welcome to my bed, bitch. Meow.
Yeah, I honestly like, because I enjoy tap dancing. I thought it was really cool, But
The tap dancing is good. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
but like
the
context around it,
is really odd. And it would have been cool if that kept happening in other songs too. Like that's would have been a great way to like if they essentially made Cats into Fantasia. I would have been happy, but
could have been better if they had done that.
yeah, like because they did something that was interesting. They did something that you couldn't possibly do in the theater, which was take you to different sets and use those different sets to have different sounds within the tap dancing. Of course, it was pretty disorienting because it was the only time in the movie it happened.
And this is within the like 30 minutes of the movie being over, roughly. I think.
Yeah, but yeah, it's
right?
like
this film is only an hour and 50 minutes.
He like his song leads up into the dramatic ending climax where because he does his tap dancing, starts to spin, and then he floats away, and McCavity's like, "Hey, I'm the last one left now!" Ha ha ha! Yeah.
God, it was just. They also kill a cat.
Grisabella?
No, well, besides her, that doesn't count. That's choice suicide. I don't know.
It's reincarnation / choice suicide.
Sure, yeah, let's go with that. The one on the tiger shark or something like that. The one on the boat.
Oh yeah, the one who was
Growl
thrown.
tiger.
Yeah,
Growl tiger.
who was
Growl
thrown off
tiger.
and into the river. Yeah.
Which someone said would be death.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be able to swim that far.
Which they murdered that cat. Are we gonna talk about that? No? Okay.
No.
Murder.
But somehow our heroes
Okay.
managed to make it back in no time flat.
How? It's not explained. Which, by the way, they have that huge summer moment with Deuteronomy, and all of a sudden, like, the boat scene happens where they escape, and all of a sudden everyone else is back at everyone back at the place is like, hey, go bye-bye into the blimp thing, and all of a sudden they go outside and everyone's there like, hey, we're all alive!
Yeah, we're alive! We made it!
Rebel Wilson, James Corden, all of us are here, Ian McKellen, yay! And I'm like, what the fuck happened? How? How did you get here from there?
Yeah,
This is
impossible.
London, right?
Yeah, I mean, McCavity could teleport, but for some reason he can get stuck on top of a building.
His magic stopped working then?
Yeah.
Not on top of a building, on top of a statue.
Yes, good point. This movie just is weird.
Oh, God, it's so weird and so fucking just... Especially, like, those earlier scenes, like, the fucking, like... The humanoid cat creatures
Tiger is a curious cat.
all over each other. Just... He's really disorientingly bad for your brain. Also, real thing, do not go see this in theaters, please.
You don't want to see the giant human meows and the face rubbing on the big screen?
Unless you're high as shit, drunk as shit, or with friends. I'll preface with that.
You may be drunk as shit, and high as shit. You might have to be high on like acid or something because this is beyond the help of marijuana.
Not condoning acid.
Yeah.
But maybe a high on marijuana could help you just calm out during it, because this movie does not let that happen. Because it's an uneasy trip for someone who was 100%. I really wish there would have. This film, I would have paid for VIP. I'm going to be dead honest. Just to drink some during, to take the edge off. And upon reflection, I'm like, God, I really wish you would have put this in the VIP. You would make money off of this film.
I really wish they made it 3D so you could see the cat jiggle physics in your face. I'm just kidding.
Just, if you're going to watch this, wait for it on digital. Only rent it. Do not purchase this film.
Yeah, don't buy this.
Please don't.
This is bad. Like, I hate to say it because, like, I enjoyed this movie in some ways. Because I didn't feel that it was as long as it was because
I felt it was longer. I'm dead serious. Like the fact that I looked over and saw it was only an hour and 50 minutes just now. I didn't check the runtime beforehand. I thought that was a 2.5 hour film when I was in there.
Like, I thought it was at least an hour and a half myself. So, like, that's how I felt. I was like, okay, we're just going and going and going, and we're done. Okay, that's it. So, like, I don't know. Like, this was just a poor decision to make into a movie. That's for sure. It was definitely a poor timing. Like, if there was ever a time for someone to decide that their New Year's resolution was to not go to the theaters, it's to air this movie now and, and see what happens. Yeah,
Which, by the way, the box office for this film went bad.
I was going to say, I think this thing was like a couple, at least a couple, almost $1 billion. I don't remember how much.
Let me pull up our friend Box Office Mojo budget of
$100 million
million
loss. $100 million loss in the box office.
So let's say, double that for, you always double for advertising,
Yes.
if not triple. And this film had a lot of advertisements. So maybe $3 million film to make. Opening weekend was last weekend, and this is second weekend, right? Worldwide so far has only made $38 million. Opening domestically only made on opening weekend $6 million.
I'm looking at IMDb here, and it's funny because, like, top news are things like how much money has Star Wars made, and then other things like how much money Cats is losing, and then it's, let's see, Cats is projected to lose this much. VFX team of Cats explains what went wrong. Cats is a box office
They
hairball.
didn't use mocap. Like,
Cats headed to
anyone who's played a video game with like motion capture or watched a film like Lord of the Rings or anything with Andy fucking Serkis in it will tell you it's because they didn't use fucking mocap. The fact that this film looks worse than Gone from fucking 2000.
This is just a bad movie. It's just, let's just leave it at that.
Let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. Let's never ever unless it's like unless it's a stretch goal and it's for us to like have an audio file to play with this, ever watch this again.
To say, I honestly
talk about it.
Really, we need to get a Patreon started so we can start doing things like that. Our recorded audio to some really bad movies that we hate.
Oh God!
Watch the movie with us. We're pressing play in 3, 2, 1. And it's Cats, and it's the Lego Movie, and
Oh, sorry. On Twitter, I just saw something really heartwarming in a lot of ways.
Aw.
Zelda Williams, Robin Williams' daughter. You saw that which Disney character are you thing that's going around too after the Pokemon thing on Instagram?
Did she
She
do it
got
and get Genie? Yeah.
She got Genie.
Did that make her cry?
She laughed.
Oh,
She
of course.
like she would because that's just it's one of those things like that's you can't make that shit up.
Yeah, you're a little genie. Of course you are. Okay, so anything else about this movie that we don't want to talk or spoil before we head
I don't
into
think
the
there
news?
is anything else we can say.
All right, then we're heading into our news and wrap up to wrap up the end of 2019. Because you realize that, Dev, next podcast is a new year.
We should start with a great. Just thought about it. We should start with a Great Gatsby at some point this year because we're back in the Roaring 20s.
It'd be interesting. Get to see another great performance from Leo DiCaprio.
Well, we have one on our list so far.
Have we seen Django?
No.
Have we seen whatever movie he was Emmy Award winning for?
Revenant? Yeah.
Yes.
Because it came out before the show.
Okay. I remember seeing Revenant in theaters. I just don't remember why I saw it in theaters. Either way, all right. Let's talk news and wrap up. There's not really much news other than like money making things. There was a new discussion about the Uncharted movie having lost another director.
That film's never being made.
Yeah, probably not. I think this is
Especially with Mark Wahlberg being Sully.
Yeah. Is Tom Holland young?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's gonna be Nate Drake.
Okay.
Which
Yeah,
work? He's a good cast for that.
yeah, why not? I could see it happening.
You played 4, right?
Not all the way through, no.
But like those scenes with younger,
Oh yeah. When
he
he's
can
escaping.
do that where he's not quite as like skilled. He's still learning, but he's still as cocky as ever. That is Tom Holland could pull that off.
And you'll
So.
learn from me, Mark Wahlberg.
No,
Best in the business.
I don't want it.
So yeah, there's that. That movie's never gonna come out because the 7th director has been lost. Let's see. There's the Golden Globes happening on the 2nd. No, that's not on the 2nd, is it? No, it's on the 3rd. I think. Either way, Golden Globes are happening soon. Let's see. Cats is losing money. All of The Mandalorian is out on Disney Plus. Have you seen all of The Mandalorian yet, Dev?
Yes.
You and me need to talk about that season finale at the end of this.
Yeah.
Because I have one very specific question.
Is it about a very specific thing?
Yes.
Is it how?
Kind of. All right.
I think we're gonna find out. That is the answer. I can answer that right now. Actually,
Yeah.
we didn't spoil anything for anyone else with that.
The answer is
The thing
eh.
in question. The thing in question. I don't know how it's gotten where it is, but
But it's there.
it's there. And the only way that could have happened is something really horrible did happen, and it happened after a different show ended. And during the Civil War.
Okay. Okay.
Probably before Yavin, I would say.
Poor thing.
During the height of the Empire is when that probably would have happened, which kind of sucks, which makes me really sad because that means some things did go horribly wrong.
At some point, something bad did happen to somebody you love.
Maybe not someone you love, but a character who you were like, hey, maybe the things will be all right for him. Nope. Nope. Things did not go all right.
See, I'm trying to look at other things here, like other news. I haven't got much else here, honestly. So I do have one question for you, Dev.
Yeah,
It's been a full year that we've run this show.
it has.
Do you have a favorite movie of 2019?
I mean, an easy choice for me, like, is very cliche, would be Endgame.
Okay.
But that's like a compliment. That's an 11-year journey, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have been on. So understandably, that's probably my number one. One of the films that I really enjoyed watching this year, though, was John Wick.
I was just looking at that. I really enjoyed watching John Wick. It was a fun little ride that had some pretty dramatic and intense moments in it, for sure.
Also, How to Train Your Dragon was really good.
Yes. Yes. That was one of our 10 popcorn kernel movies, I believe.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it did get points because it's a kid film. We will admit that. But it was fun.
There was also... What was the other movie that caught my attention? It was earlier in the year. Hang on 1 second. I will find you. I don't remember.
Us was good.
Oh yeah, Us
So-
was one of them, yeah. So yeah, there's definitely some good movies that came out.
Shazam was a surprisingly good movie for DC.
That's one of the, like, Shazam is a movie that I've been trying to get my dad to watch, honestly. That and Alita Battle Angel. Because, like, don't get me wrong, Alita Battle Angel wasn't the best movie, but I think it's one that my dad would love.
But it's visually, it's a good film. Like we talked about it, visually, it's a fun film. It just kind of feels empty. Was our problem?
Like, the same thing with Mortal Engines. Like,
yes, it had the same problem as Mortal Engines.
Like, my dad bought Mortal Engines because he loves that movie. And I was like, it's a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. It's just an empty movie with, like, a great... It's a chocolate egg where the inside is hollow with nothing inside of it. It's like, oh man, look at this delicious lore in the world that we can dig in, and there's nothing here.
There's no character or anything. Damn it.
Yes.
Detective Pikachu came out this year, which was a joy.
I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but it was at least one of the better movies. Like,
It was one of my favorites.
yeah, I can give you that. Sure. Not Captain Marvel's meh. It's there.
Like we said, it was a phase 2.
Mhm.
Toy Story 4 was surprisingly good. God, that was June. It feels like it was yesterday that we did that.
I'm honestly still kind of surprised how much I remember Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw. Like, that movie wasn't the good movie by any means, but it was fun. So there's that.
Scary Stories was the best horror film we watched this year.
Which is kind of sad.
Yeah.
Remember Dora the Explorer?
Don't wanna. Let's move on. Nope. Yeah, I honestly think I enjoyed Scary Stories more than I did It Chapter 2. Especially upon reflection.
That's hard for me to say, honestly, because I was a little disappointed with how little horror there was in It Chapter 2. But I also didn't really find a lot of Scary Stories scary.
I found them more intense.
Moments, yeah. Definitely, I can see that.
I saw them as more tense scary, not like scary. While It tried to be scary, but it wasn't scary anymore because it was what happened to the kids and repeating. So, kind of pick your poison, I guess.
I can't wait if/when they release both the movies put together.
Worst film of the year for you?
Worst film of the year. I have to check something. Alright, no. Okay.
Do you need the list? I can give you my list, the first showings list.
I have that pulled up right here already.
Okay.
I was trying to see if Teen Titans came out this year or last year, and it came out last year.
Yeah, but you didn't rate that very low.
I know. Let's see.
Still holding a grudge on that? Motherfucker, get over it.
Fuck you. Let's see. The worst movie of the year for me right now is I'm leading towards either this movie, Cats, or Curse of La Llorona.
I knew that would probably be yours just based off of disappointment. Because it's a horror film.
And it's just
and
a really bad horror film.
See? Mine, I don't think this is... It might be the lowest rated film this year when we talked about Cats. But my expectation was low.
Okay.
There are two films that I had some hope for.
Is one of them Aladdin?
No, that wasn't even close to the worst film this year.
Okay.
I was just kind of One of them was Dark Phoenix, which...
Just saw that. I was like, oh, it's Dark Phoenix.
That one was kind of meh all around. The other one, the biggest disappointment of the year for anyone who likes comic book stories put into film, especially ones that may have been done before better, was goddamn Hellboy.
Hellboy was pretty bad. Hellboy was pretty bad.
Like,
Oh.
that happened this year.
Yeah, at the very beginning of the year too. Kind of,
Yeah, I forgot that it happened this year, and then someone brought it up. I'm like, oh shit, that was still 2019, wasn't it? My
I mean,
God.
for me. It's kind of hard to say because there's a lot of bad movies that we watched this year. Like
There was
we
that, Curse of La Llorona, Dark Phoenix.
Dora.
Yeah, but that was a kid's film. I'm not going to knock it that hard.
I am.
Like, we knew what we were going into.
Child's Play.
That wasn't that bad.
Men in Black International.
That was that bad.
Like there was some pretty garbage
Crawl.
movies. Yes.
Crawl. Oh, no. We should have gotten... I should have fought harder for Stuber.
I kind of wish we did watch Stuber.
I heard good, like, enjoyable things with Stuber. And then you're like, no, we're going to do Crawl. I'm like, I fucking hate you.
Yep, I get to make decisions. This is my show, damn it.
And you know what? Fuck you and your decision making.
Yeah, I usually always choose the wrong movie.
Fuck.
Because it's like, I have hopes for this movie, and then it's not good.
You and your fucking high hopes.
So, yeah. Alright.
What else was there that we watched? We did Rambo Last Blood.
That was just...
That was 3 months ago? 4 months ago? 3 months ago.
Time flies when all you do is the exact same thing every single week.
Fuck off. Wait, Rambo was before TwitchCon?
I don't remember. I didn't go to...
Because I went to Abominable at TwitchCon.
Okay.
Abominable came out the week after. Oh my god. My god. I thought it was after in some way. Weird.
I have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Are there any movies that you are looking forward to this next year?
Oh, I mean, Black Widow for one. Obviously, I mean, Marvel films, easy. I'm looking forward to see how much of a mess potentially Sonic the Hedgehog is.
I'm looking forward to that too.
Just to see what happens. Quiet Place 2, I'm interested if it can have a sequel.
I just realized there's another SpongeBob SquarePants movie.
Yeah, that's happening.
Artemis Fowl.
I'm interested to see if New Mutants actually comes out. The film has been pushed back who knows how many times.
Hey Dev, your favorite
Yeah.
company has a movie coming out.
No, that's not next year, is it?
It's the movie I'm thinking
No.
of. It's June 3rd.
No, no, no.
Yes,
No,
yes,
no,
yes.
no.
Yes, yes, yes.
Oh, I don't see it on my list.
Okay, on June 3rd this next year. Minions: The Rise of Gru.
July 3rd.
Fine, whatever. June, July, I can't read, neither can you.
Oh, Ghostbusters. I obviously could because I got it. Ghostbusters Afterlife is one that I'm looking forward to. That first trailer is interesting, so I want to see how it goes. Top Gun Maverick, just because of the hell of it.
I'm not really looking forward to that one. Like,
I just want to see if it's anything worth a damn. You know what I mean?
looking through this whole list, like I guess so, yeah, I kind of get that. But for me, looking through this whole list, things that I kind of look forward to would maybe be Sonic.
Oh
the
yeah,
Hedgehog.
Monster Hunter comes out this year.
I wasn't thinking. I saw that, but I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking Godzilla versus King Kong. Yeah, that one I'm
I
interested
can't
to see
wait.
what they do with it.
Uh,
Let's see, what else were they?
Eternals.
Eternals, yeah, that one looks interesting. Wonder Woman, I'm interested to see as well. Only
Yeah.
because one of the main characters died, so I don't know how he's back. But you know, whatever.
Yeah. There's
Uh,
questions.
Yeah, I have lots of questions. The Bill and Ted movie, Face the Music. I'm interested to
Yes.
see where that goes.
Venom 2 comes out next year, Steven.
I bet that one's going to be like a turd running.
Rolling in the wind.
Yes. No, just oozing down your thigh. Like the diarrhea that'll be.
Oh, and The King's Man comes out.
That one I'm actually kind of interested in.
A prequel to the Kingsman series? All right, I'm in. Oh, and then there's The Conjuring. The Devil Made Me Do It.
I just saw a Tom
Three.
and Jerry movie.
Yeah, saw that too.
It's a live action.
Is it live action?
Uh, I don't think so.
Isn't there supposed to be a Fantastic Beast this year?
I don't see one.
Huh.
Oh well. I mean, I'm not sad if there isn't. You know?
Oh, it's next year.
Okay.
Okay. Like, not next year, but next year.
Okay.
Next year's next year.
Yeah, the years after next, you know.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got nothing else. No other questions. Anything
I got
else?
nothing else.
All right. Then I think we're done here for Critically Casual. In the year 2019, we're done here.
Oh yeah, Artemis Fowl comes out next year.
Yes. Yes, it does. I mentioned that.
Sorry.
It's like, yeah, Artemis Fowl. That seems interesting.
I missed it. Sorry.
It's all good.
Your mic has been doing a little bit of static, so like not major static.
No, I get it. I
Right.
keep bumping into the cable. So, yeah. All right. So, I guess that's it for us here in Critically Casual Land. I've got nothing else. So
I got nothing.
Oh, yeah,
That's,
there's next week's movies technically. So,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
so yeah, next week it's kind of a Dev's choice week, but I'm all for it. I think these movies are going to be good.
I don't really consider it a dev choice. I just really wanted to see 1917. So, and we just need a movie to pair with it. So,
We chose Dunkirk. I was like, one that was in the back of my mind was actually something like Saving Private Ryan.
also would have been a good pick.
But yeah, next week is going to be Dunkirk and 1917.
The only pick that you could have said that I would have said no to, Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, no. I've seen that enough times. Don't need to watch more. Oh, Jesus. Meow. All right. So, yeah, I guess that's it for us here. So, thank you, everybody, for all the follows and the likes and all that fun stuff throughout the year. We appreciate everybody. Thanks for voting on our poll and all that stuff, too, because that's why we watched.
We might do it more in the future.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing it in the future, I hope. We're definitely, I hope. So yeah, check us out on YouTube where we upload the VODs if I remember to do them. Same with Dead. Follow us on Twitter where we update awesome tweet things, because we're funny people and sometimes we update when the show goes live. Join our Discord where you can put in your influence about what you want us to talk about for the news sections, or you can just talk to us because sometimes we like to talk to people and we're a little lonely. So, yeah. That being said, and then we have our shows that we hold Monday through Thursdays through different days of the week at different times.
Starting, I think next week should be more regular scheduled because due to the fact that hey, I think we've made it through the hustle and bustle of the holiday season. So
We're almost there. Holidays are almost done. Yeah. And I'm just as poor as ever.
Yep.
At least I haven't gained 30 pounds like last year. I'm just kidding. It wasn't that bad. All right. So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. And we will be seeing you guys next year for another episode of Critically Casual. Until then, bye.
Bye.
Yeah, goodbye.